Hello everyone! This is just a quick disclaimer before I begin. You can skip over this by going to roughly the 55-second mark. This is a Welcome to Night Vale FanCast based on the podcast Welcome to Night Vale, produced by Joseph Fink and Jeffrey Craner of Commonplace Books. This is an entirely independent work made for fun and out of love for the source material. I will not monetize this production in any way, and if you want to support Welcome to Night Vale, and you should, please go to commonplacebooks.com and send a donation their way. I've used music by desperation in my production, which is allowed via the Creative Commons non-commercial share-alike license, and I would also like to give special thanks to Shane Smith and the Saints for letting me use their song Canvas for the weather. Thank you guys, I really do appreciate it. Questions and comments can be left in the comment section, and I would greatly appreciate hearing what y'all liked and what I could have done better. Thanks everyone, hope you enjoy. There is someone sitting outside the Ralphs. And outside the Ralphs might possibly be the best place for somebody to be. I'm undecided. Welcome to Night Vale. Hello, listeners. You don't know me, and you're probably wondering why I'm here. Well, you probably do know me. Maybe not personally, but we've seen each other on the street, said hi, waved, just never formally introduced ourselves. There really isn't enough time in the day to introduce yourself to everyone you meet, is there? Huh. Anyway, let me introduce myself now. My name is Derek, and the reason I'm here is because I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but Cecil was sick today and couldn't come in. Also because, well, funny story. This morning, as I was walking out to meet some people, there was a hooded figure standing right outside my door. Before I had a chance to avert my gaze or pretend it wasn't there, as is required by law, I heard a loud humming and blacked out. When I woke up, I found myself face down on top of an intern's open-faced lox and egg sandwich in the break room. After coming to my senses, I panicked and attempted to leave the station, but the bloodstone doors would not let me out, even if someone else bled on them for me. The intern, whose name I later learned was Daniel, shouted the situation to station management, and the contents of the red envelope that emerged a moment later communicated that I had been randomly chosen, as is custom when the official radio host is bedridden, and would not be allowed to leave until I had finished the show for the day. They also welcomed me aboard, gave me a complimentary cup of coffee, and gave me a dire warning against screwing up. I shouted back that there was someplace I really needed to be today, and asked if they could find someone else, but when no more responses came, I resigned myself to having that cup of coffee, and began going through the calisthenics routine that is the pre-show prep work. Doing the pre-recorded ads, preparing the notes for the day's news, the morning tribute to station management, and signing the proper substitution forms. This brings us to the here and now with my unfamiliar voice reaching your unfamiliar ears. I would like to say that, Cecil, I hope you get better soon. Being sick sucks, and I know you'd much rather be here doing what you love than sitting at home doing nothing. Everyone here misses you, and wishes that you get well soon. Sorry if I sound distracted, listeners, but I really can't shake the feeling that I'm forgetting something important. But Intern Daniel is motioning me to continue on and bring you up to date on the news. So, I'm going to do that. Several new projects have been started recently here in Night Vale. First, as you all know, is the rebuilding of the old Night Vale Opera House. Construction on the Opera House is coming along slowly but steadily, with the construction being carried out by the angelic creatures that live with old woman Josie out by the car lot. These tall, winged, illegal-to-be-named creatures are putting together the materials using a large machinery, carefully thought-out plans, coffee, and forbidden celestial magics. All of them are being led by one being with exceptionally wide wingspan, dressed only in a construction helmet and a high-visibility orange vest. Huh. I never knew that whatever those things are, were even supposed to be able to drink coffee. Learn something new every day. Nearby sources heard it shouting orders at the others, such as, Erica, take more nails to Erica. Erica, mix more concrete. That sigil isn't going to inscribe itself, Erica. We reached out to old woman Josie to find out why, since she seemed so invested in taking part in the construction that she was not present during the work. We found her sitting at home in the midst of rewatching Breaking Bad on Netflix. Oh, I would have. I wanted to, she said with a furrowed brow, but those sweet angels just would not let me get any work done. So, instead I came back here. I gotta say, though, that I haven't been able to watch TV in peace since. She stopped for a second, her eyes immediately far away. Since they left on their heavenly mission, shortly before that Strax monstrosity took over the town. She smiled gently. I am glad they're back, though. Oh, and tell Cecil that I'll have a special surprise for him at league night next week, so he'd better get well soon. Oh, of course I've called him once already, but I just know he'll get a kick out of me having you say it over the radio. Thank you, Josie. I am sure he will appreciate that. Also, in a very generous move, American Brewing Company, Anheuser-Busch, subsidiary of international beverage conglomerate InBev, has begun the installation of numerous substance abuse treatment facilities throughout the country. The newest of these is to be opened right here in our town of Nightvale. A press conference was held, and Albert Sweeney, spokesperson for Anheuser-Busch, stated that these facilities would provide state-of-the-art detox facilities, daily support group meetings, counseling, and FDA-certified mediums to help clients make peace with any spirits they have used, as well as help those who want to go above and beyond in steps 8 and 9 of their 12-step program. The City Council then stepped up to interject, adding, "While drinking to forget is one of the core Nightvale doctrines, we want our citizens to be healthy. Forgetting overtly forbidden things is certainly mandatory, but one should be careful not to forget one's responsibilities. Should that ever be necessary, you won't have to do a thing." Sweeney went on to say that his company was also pleased to announce their new line of wheat and wheat byproduct-free beer to be sold exclusively here in Nightvale. This corn-based intoxicant will be brewed right here in our little town and conform to the wheat and wheat byproduct-free standards as set out by our City Council. Oh, and it also says here that in an effort to support local economies, the corn used for this exclusive bevy will be none other than the imaginary corn grown by our very own John Peters. You know, the farmer? He then concluded the press conference by rearing back on his horse haunches, raising his halberd into the air, and yelling, "Grab some buds!" before galloping off into the sand waste. Wow, isn't this exciting? When reached for comment, John Peters had this to say. "Well, as a farmer, I've taken great pride in providing our community with the freshest imaginary corn that I can grow. With the plans for the Pulsar Development Facility increasing taxes, I thought I was out of luck. But then the green market started selling my corn, and now such a well-known company will be buying nearly all of my crops. I think I'll do just fine, maybe even be able to expand. Like my dear old ma used to say, wise men write proverbs, but farmers grow corn." Well, once again, congratulations, John. And now, a word from our sponsors.
Spread your wings. You don't have wings? We'll work on that for you. Do the things you love. You do not love things? That's probably for the best. Make a name for yourself. You don't like your name? Well, at least yours is different. Strax Corp. Believe in angels.
Listeners, that was not the ad that I recorded earlier today. Listeners, I just got word that there's a great wailing coming from the hole in the abandoned lot out back at the Ralphs. You know, where people huddle every day except Wednesday? Alert citizens have reported the sound is so loud that no one can get close enough to see what's going on. They also say that anyone attempting to approach is rendered incapacitated on the ground, curled up in the fetal position, calling out foods they don't like but wish they did. Among the victims is Jeremy Godfrey, who is calling out foods such as gazpacho, gummy bears, fish and chips, sweet tea. This is terrible, listeners. I know some of the people in that huddle, and Sorry about that, listeners. I just had the sharpest pain in my... Oh, wow. That can't be good. Listeners, just now, on the back of my hand, an eye opened up, and I am being reminded by Daniel to return to the news. Sir, yes, sir. The Night Vale Aeronautics Association is excited to announce the return of one of our town's most beloved events, the Night Vale Skywriting and Chemtrail Festival. As you all know, this annual event was cancelled back in 2012 due to the sudden appearance of those black metallic trees that cause anything flying above 30 feet to catch fire. Then the next year, everyone in the association was like, busy. And then last year, of course, we were invaded by that evil corponomic mega conglomerate that tried to make us vanish. So now they're bringing it back and promise that it will be better than ever. This year's festivities include scented and flavored chemtrail vapor that my sources say will come in numerous flavors including vanilla, strawberry, honeydew, glow cloud, and spaghetti. Listeners? While we can guarantee that most of the flavors are made with food-grade, artificially synthesized chemicals charged with non-toxic radiation, we do not recommend that you expose yourselves to breathe and respire. Inhale the sun of the mighty glow cloud. Puny ants awash in the sea of pain. Let the despair of the reality that is not take hold. Inhale. Breathe deep. All hail, all bow down in worship of the mighty glow cloud. All hail. There will also be a remote-controlled drone workshop hosted by a vague yet menacing government agency, a model airplane race, and food carts to meet anyone's chemtrail-induced food craving. Sounds like a fun time will be had by all, listeners. An update on that wailing coming from the abandoned lot out back the Ralphs, listeners. It seems that the wailing has stopped, but the huddle has left its hole. Reports say that the now tangled mass of humans climbed out and began rolling like a treadwheel out of the lot, crushing or absorbing anyone who didn't get out of its way. Listeners, if you see the huddle, for your own safety, leave its path immediately. I'm getting word that the huddle is outside the station now, stopped briefly as one of its members bleeds upon the station doors. Listeners, I'm afraid this is all my fault. I am a member of that huddle and I did not huddle like I was supposed to today. I tried to tell station management about this. No one misses the huddle, and I honestly have absolutely no idea what happens to anyone who doesn't show up. The huddle is now inside the station, listeners, looking for me. The eye that suddenly opened my hand earlier is now looking in the direction of the studio door, and I fear that... Daniel? Intern Daniel, who had just entered the studio to bring me a fresh coffee, was just struck hard by that slamming door. Listeners, the huddle has come for me. Eyes glowing brown, chanting, and I don't know what earth will happen, Mother, to me, Mud. But for now, I take you to eternal, the weather, life, earth, Mother, Mud, womb, eternal, birth, eternal life.
I had a brother who wasn't from my family, who worked a ranch by the border where the rain clouds never seen. And old Rocco was a ranch hand. He got fired from my boss, man. Now he works in Dozer and Eagle Pass. I ain't seen him in a long time. I wonder how he's getting by, and I wish our fate sometimes could take us back. He said your life is a canvas, you paint some every day. And when you think you got it all figured out in your head, you know the man's got your final say. And look back on all your memories, if we go our separate ways. Don't forget your life's a canvas, we might get painted back someday. killing time. You wake the sunrise, you work till night, just like the sunset on the ocean. The light just fades away. You see the stars shine in the desert just before the break of day. And then the wind throws me a memory of an LA girl I loved. You know she left me for the sunset when she said she'd had enough. And as the sweat rolls through my work glove, ask me, what are you doing here? Could she love you for a lifetime and not even shed a tear? I bet she cried by Arizona when them mountains all turn black. Question faith down at some crossroad, drinking from a paper sack. I've lost 2 buddies from 2 drunken nights, and that alone is tough. They're probably in some better place, but man, it's getting rough. It's getting rough. It's getting rough. You said your life is a canvas, you paint some every day. And when you think you got it all figured out in your head, you know the band's got your final say. And look back on all your memories if we go our separate ways. Don't forget your life's a canvas, we might get painted back someday.
Welcome back, listeners. I'm still here and still alive. Turns out they came just because they were all worried about me. When I didn't show up, they began their signal whale, which acts as a kind of Find My Phone app for huddlers. The eye on my hand, which is gone now, was emitting a signal that led them here, but once I rejoined their hive mind, they understood what happened and said that all I had to do was just message one of them. A text or voicemail or even a signal chant would have been sufficient. They've left now, and everything's fine. Miscommunications can be scary, listeners. And I'm not just talking about them leading to invasions of hive-minded beings, no, but scary divisions between people we know and love. The separation and loneliness caused by words unsaid or forgotten, feelings not shared, tax returns unsent, or even worse, filled out improperly. As the sun returns to its subterranean pool of lava from whence it reforms every day, let us all take the time to let those who are important to us know where we are. The Sheriff's Secret Police would also be grateful. And to the family of intern Daniel, you have our deepest condolences. He did a great job orienting me to the station today, and he will be missed. Be safe and well known, listeners, because no one knows what will happen tomorrow. Stay tuned next for the 1812 Overture being played by Wasps, and as always, good night, Night Vale. Good night. Welcome to Night Vale, a production of Commonplace Books by Joseph Fink and Jeffrey Craner. Cecil's Sick Day is a fan production written and produced by Ryan Morgan. The voice of Derek was Ryan Morgan. The voice of Erica was Mobius Tripp. The voices of the Huddle were Mobius Tripp, True Blue, the Vorpal Bunny, Ryan Morgan, and the various doubles and triples. More information on the Mobius Tripp and the Vorpal Bunny can be found in the information box. Original music by Disparition. All of it can be found at disparition.info and disparition.bandcamp.com. And this episode's weather was Canvas by Shane Smith and the Saints. For more information on them, check out shanesmithmusic.com. Additional sound effects by RobinHood76. Today's proverb. It was an itsy bitsy teeny weeny yellow polka dotted beanie, and it was not a good look on him.